This is At the Public Library, the video source for news and information about the San Francisco Public Library system. This month's show features more staff favorite reads, a complete listing of all the library's opera appreciation programs planned in anticipation of the reopening of the War Memorial Opera House, and a new branch profile segment featuring the Excelsior Branch Library, as well as listings of upcoming programs and events for children, teens, and adults, all at the Public Library. Kalligraphia, an exhibition by members of the Friends of Calligraphy, is on display now through August 31st in the 6th floor Skylight Gallery of the main library. Held once every 3 years, the exhibition includes a wide range of calligraphic practices, from the traditional to more experimental methods of approach. As part of the exhibition, the library will host a Saturday afternoon series of calligraphy demonstrations by noted Bay Area calligraphers. The 9-part series will be presented in the Latino-Hispanic Community Meeting Room on the lower level of the main library from 2 to 4 p.m. for the duration of the exhibition. The series begins on July 5th with Carl Roars presenting The Joy of Brush Lettering. On July 12th, Letter by Letter, experimenting with multi-layered compositions, presented by Brooke Holvey. July 19th, Hebrew Calligraphy, with Naomi Teplo. On July 26th, the series moves to the 6th floor terrace of the main library for a demonstration of letters carved in stone with Christopher Steinauer. August 2nd brings The Indispensable Italic Hand with Joe McConaughey. August 9th, The Magic of the Ruling Pen with Claude Dietrich A. August 16th, Every Calligraphy Tool in the World, presented by Carla Tenrit. August 23rd, Illumination for Calligraphy with Melissa Dinwiddie. And the final calligraphy demonstration will take place on August 30th, The Batard Alphabet with Ward Dunham. Viewing hours for the Kalligraphia exhibition are Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m., Monday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Friday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Annette, what are you reading right now?
Oh, hi. Well, I just happened to have finished American Pastoral by Philip Roth, who's one of our most important contemporary American writers. And in this particular novel, Portnoy is not complaining. Rather, Philip Roth has written a compelling, important saga and history of the rise and fall of an American Jewish family called the Lvovs, who came here as immigrants in the 1920s and gradually tried to assimilate, become part of the American fabric, and have a peaceful, good, important life in the suburbs with their children. And alas, it's not to be. It goes through the period of the rebellion of the 60s. There's some marvelous social history written here, important issues are discussed, and what I really recall most vividly are some of the scenes of that Roth can portray so well with humor and understanding and compassion. One is a high school class reunion in New Jersey, 25 years after. Another is a description of a ladies' glove factory that was founded by the elder Lvov, and the pride in work and achievement, and the gradual deterioration of the factory and the inner city of Newark, and the final horror of the rebellion of the 60s, in which the daughter of the third generation becomes a terrorist, a revolutionary terrorist, and rebels against her family. This book has 3 parts. Paradise Remembered, The Fall, and Paradise Lost. And that is sort of the theme that runs through the book. It is really a fascinating study of social and cultural history of the United States and what happens to a family of good people and their dreams and their attempts to become again part of the American dream. I'd like to finish with the last two sentences of the book. I think it kind of sums up the feeling of what Roth is trying to do. And these are the two sentences. This is about the Lvovs. They will never recover. Everything is against them. Everyone and everything that does not like their life. All the voices from without condemning and rejecting their life. And what is wrong with their life? What on earth is less reprehensible than the life of the Lvovs? And that's a good question to end on. So if you read the book, it'll give you much to think and ponder and enjoy. Bye.
After an 18-month absence, the San Francisco Opera returns to its home, the splendidly restored War Memorial Opera House, just in time for the 75th anniversary of San Francisco opera season. To celebrate this momentous occasion, the San Francisco Public Library is recognizing Opera Appreciation Month with an opera poster exhibition, a video and lecture series, and more. Asked to design posters based on Puccini's Tosca, Bay Area students of all ages put their creative talents to the task. During August, colorful posters from the Opera Fair contest will be on display throughout the main library. The winning design, submitted by 14-year-old David Strock, is the official poster for the Opera Fair on September 6th at the Opera House. Also on display near the Grove Street entrance of the main library is a costume designed by Bob Mackie from the opera Lulu. This is a shot of soprano Anne Panagoulias, who wore it during the 1989 fall season. Along with the exhibit, the library is hosting Invitation to Opera, as our Thursday at Noon video series continues in the Corrette Auditorium. George F. Lucas, Vice President of Education for the San Francisco Opera Guild and editor of the Guild's season preview book, will present lectures with video excerpts focusing on several of the operas from the upcoming 75th opera season. The series begins on Thursday, August 7th at noon with Puccini's Tosca. Rigoletto by Verdi is the subject for August 14th. Mozart's Nozze di Figaro is featured on August 21st. And the series ends with Pelléas et Mélisande by Debussy on August 28th. That's Invitation to Opera, a free lecture and video series every Thursday at noon in the main library's Corrette Auditorium during the month of August. Throughout the fall, the Opera Guild and the San Francisco Public Library join again to repeat last year's successful collaboration with 1997 Fall Previews, Lectures on Opera. The free programs take place Wednesdays at noon in the main library's Corrette Auditorium. The series kicks off on September 3rd with Death in Venice, presented by Perry Lorenzo. On September 17th, Professor Simon Williams looks at Der Fliegende Holländer. Professor D.B. Green will explain Elektra on October 15th. October 29th brings Robert Glick with a discussion of Guillaume Tell. On November 5th, Pelléas et Mélisande will be the subject for Professor David A. Grayson. And the series wraps up on November 19th with Professor Richard Taruskin on Eugene Onegin. So consider this your San Francisco Public Library invitation to the opera.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Dom.
You gotta be cool on the inside, too.
How to Find What You Want at the San Francisco Public Library is a free orientation and training program that introduces patrons to the library's online public access catalog computer system. The demonstrations given by staff librarians of the main library's Information Services Department presents the basic steps in searching for books, magazines, and other materials by author, title, and subject. The librarians also introduce and demonstrate how to use the various databases that are available through the library's online catalog. The programs take place in the Corette Auditorium. This month, the How to Find What You Want at the San Francisco Public Library programs will take place on Saturday, August 9th at 2 p.m., Tuesday, August 12th at 4 p.m., Saturday, August 16th at 2 p.m., and Tuesday, August 26th at 4 p.m. And for patrons interested in learning about the Internet, the Information Services Department of the main library will present Internet Basics with Marc Webb, an introduction to the Internet and how to use the Lynx and Netscape browsers. Internet Basics with Marc Webb will be presented in the Corette Auditorium at the main library on Thursday, August 28th, beginning at 6:30 p.m.
This month, the branches are having some great programs. The Sunset Branch out on 1305 18th Avenue is presenting classical guitarist Claude Sprague on Monday, August 25th at 7 p.m., with performance and discussion of works by Villalobos, Barrios, Bach, and others. Slug, the San Francisco League of Urban Gardeners, will present a workshop for the growing and use of herbs on Saturday, August 30th at 3 p.m. at the Ingleside Branch, located at 387 Ashton Avenue. Also on the 30th, Los Delicados Poetry Ensemble, 5 young San Francisco poets, perform their works at 3:30 p.m. at the Ocean View Branch at 111 Broad Street. And don't forget the Wednesday Scrabble Night at the Bernal Branch on 500 Cortlandt Avenue, every week at 7:30 p.m.
Hi, I'm David Schwabe here at the Excelsior Branch Library with another At the Public Library branch profile. Built in 1967, the Excelsior Branch serves the large and culturally diverse Excelsior and Outer Mission districts of San Francisco and was one of the last neighborhood branch libraries to be built in the city. Located on the edge of the busy Excelsior District commercial strip at 4400 Mission Street, the Excelsior Branch opened to the public on October of 1967 and was officially dedicated on June 12, 1968. The simple modern structure, with its straight lines, peaked roof, and large reading room window, was designed by the architectural firm of Appleton and Wolford. The original construction cost of the branch was just under $322,000. The branch contains 8,200 square feet of floor space and is capable of holding up to 53,000 volumes.
We have what's called an open floor plan in our library. The children's area, while separate from the adult, is an artificial separation. There is no separate complete room or separate floor. It's a one-floor branch, no basement, no mezzanine, and it's just a book wall that separates the adult space from the children's space.
The branch also has a large meeting room that's used for branch programming and is available for community use. A meeting room is one feature that the 2 previous storefront Excelsior Branch libraries did not have. Branch Library service has been a part of the Excelsior since 1925.
Well, the first one was on Ocean Avenue, about 75 or 100 feet off Mission Street. to be only go one direction, Ocean Avenue, and that's towards the ocean. From there, it starts there. I used it as a child, and that lasted for so many years, and then the bank of Wells Fargo Bank wished to expand, and they expanded into the area where the library was and built a new branch. And then they moved across the street from the present branch, which is now a foot doctor's office, and that was quite a large branch. The store was about 20, 25 feet wide, about 100 feet long. So it was a big improvement over what was up the street. So I sort of thank Wells Fargo for moving us out. I used that library. I was present at the dedication of that library when Mayor Robinson dedicated. It was a very successful affair.
On October 21st, 1966, Mr. Jebe, along with Mayor John Shelley, attended the groundbreaking ceremony for the current Excelsior branch, which had come about through the efforts of concerned and dedicated Excelsior residents, especially Mr. Jebe.
It's interesting, the thing that encouraged me to do this, I was in business just up the street in Jebe's camera shop, and accidentally I had learned that this part of the city, this outer part of the Mission, had the largest number of school children than any part of San Francisco, which of course took in City College. There was nothing on Ocean Avenue, a little small branch, and over in Bayview, there was a little small storefront also, all the way out to Daly City. The biggest branch was down in the Mission and a little one up on Cortlandt Avenue. And we had the largest amount of school children and one of the smallest libraries. So at the time, I just sort of got interested in it, and over a period of 10 years, at the beginning, I got an attorney to write up a petition for me, and I went to all the churches, all the schools, and all the meetings I could think of, raised about 28,000 signatures, and over a period of 10 years, wore out 2 mirrors to anybody who would listen to me, and we ended up with this building here today, which I think is very, very nice, and I'm very happy with. This sounds sort of like the old patriotic cliche, but I feel everybody should have books available, and they should be able to read and study and do whatever they wish to do to better themselves.
There is a good-sized general reading collection. There are moderate collections in teen, which is a large population for us. We're close by 2 middle schools and 1 high school, as well as private schools. A moderate collection and the only branch collection in Filipiniana, which is material principally in English, although some is in Tagalog, and there are dictionaries for some other languages of the Philippines too. For Filipino-American immigrants, information about the Philippines and also information about Filipino culture in this country. The only other collection is at the main library. And we have the second largest in the branch's Spanish collection, and with that goes a small Latino interest collection, a collection of materials in English of interest to Latino Americans. And associated with those are magazines, a newspaper, videos, audio cassettes. Then our third language interest collection is the Chinese collection, which is small but growing, as the population had been small and is now growing. So we're hoping to put a lot more of our budget into materials in Chinese, since they are very, very popular. We buy a lot of material that goes into the adult collection, but it is known to be of interest for students, because we have very heavy student use both at the high school level and at the junior college level, since we're so close to City College as well, and we're also not that far from SF State. So we buy a lot of extracurricular materials, not textbooks, but materials that help to back up the curriculum in a school at that level. There's a reference collection. Certainly we're a resource branch, so it's a somewhat sizable reference collection, and it's separated out from the rest of the collection too. Most of it is out on the floor and browsable. Very little of it is behind the desk and paged. We have a large children's collection, as well, and within children's, the languages of the community are also represented. There is a sizable Spanish and a Chinese collection there.
The Excelsior branch also has a growing video collection that includes nonfiction, how-to videos, as well as popular movies. Patrons will also find a varied compact disc collection, a collection of books on tape, language learning cassettes, and a very popular children's video collection. The branch provides access to the internet and a large number of online databases through the San Francisco Public Library's computer system. The Excelsior branch presents a variety of programs for children and regularly schedules film programs, story times, and lap sits for toddlers. Occasionally, the Excelsior branch will present programs of interest for middle schoolers and teens, like babysitting workshops and a series on teens and the law. On the first Saturday of each month, the Excelsior branch hosts a citizenship workshop in Spanish and English, sponsored by La Raza Centro Legal.
We began this program maybe 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, when we wrote grants to the State Library to beef up our very small, at the time, Spanish language collection. And so in announcing that we had gotten this grant and we had new materials, and we particularly wanted to emphasize the citizenship aspect of the collection, we added this program, and it was very successful. It's given by, not by our staff, but by teachers from La Raza, and they also give it at the main library. And it's, it goes up and down. Sometimes the attendance is small, sometimes it's large, very large, but there's always attendance, and people are always very grateful to find out that there is something like that in their language that, to assist them, because it's very hard to make it through the morass of becoming a citizen on your own.
The Excelsior is the largest branch library on the southeast side of the city and serves as the resource branch for the cluster of branches that includes Visitation Valley, Bernal Heights, Portola, and Bayview-Wadden. As the resource branch for this cluster, the Excelsior branch is open and fully staffed 7 days a week.
When our hours were altered at the beginning of Prop A, our staff had to dramatically increase to be able to meet a 7-day, 3-night operation. So we now have 4 full-time and 2 part-time librarians. Of the 4 full-timers, 2 are adult, 2 are children's librarians. We have 2 technicians and a library assistant full-time and 3 part-time library assistants. Of those 6 people, 5 of them are bilingual or trilingual in languages of this community, and we have made a real effort that would be so, that we would find and seek out people who did speak these languages. And the librarians are a more limited crew. We're not able to find as many linguists among the librarians. We have 1 Spanish-speaking librarian at this time and no Chinese-speaking or Tagalog-speaking. But we've been luckier with the technicians and assistants. And we started out with 10 pages, and now we're down to 5. That's been a terrible loss for us. We've had a hiring freeze for the last year or so, and haven't been able to hire pages. Can't hire them now. They're also a part of the speakers of languages for us. They are the youth of this community for the most part. The pages usually hire on in branches in the community that they live in. So they have real community ties. They're the children of the community, become young adults, and they speak Spanish and they speak Chinese and they speak Tagalog, and that's been a real blessing for this branch in communicating with our patronage.
Over the last few years, the Excelsior branch, with its versatile and talented staff and a solid collection of resources, has experienced a sharp increase in circulation and usage. The large functional design of the branch allows the library to easily adapt to the changing needs of the diverse community it serves. I'm David Schwabe for Branch Library Profiles. See you next time. The story of the San Francisco Public Library System, from its simple beginning with a collection of 3,000 books to the recent completion of the state-of-the-art New Main and Civic Center, has been chronicled in the beautifully illustrated book, A Free Library in This City. Written by noted author and historian Peter Booth Wiley, A free library in this city also contains specially commissioned essays by noted Bay Area literary figures, accompanied by original artwork by noted local illustrators. The illustrated history of the San Francisco Public Library, a free library in this city, is available at all San Francisco public libraries and may be purchased at local bookstores or at the Friends of the Library gift shop in the New Main. A free library in this city was published pro bono by Weldon Owen Publishing to commemorate the opening of the New Main, and all proceeds from the sale of the book benefit the San Francisco Public Library.
Want to learn how to read? Want to help someone else learn to read? Contact Project Read of the San Francisco Public Library at 557-4388. Project Read is an adult literacy program that provides volunteer one-to-one tutoring for adult learners. Project Read's support of tutors and students includes tutor orientation and training, continuing education workshops for tutors and students, reading diagnostics for students, family programs, and referrals to classroom instruction at community college centers and to other agencies in the community. There are many ways you can help adults achieve their personal reading goals. Call Project Read to find out how. Learn to read or be a reading tutor. Phone 557-4388.
Friends for Life volunteers bring the riches of the San Francisco Public Library to people who can no longer visit the library themselves. Friends for Life volunteers provide a link between the San Francisco Public Library and people with AIDS or HIV disease. If you would like to be a Friends for Life volunteer, or you are in need of the services Friends for Life provides, call 557-4352 for more information. This is it, the big one! They don't get any bigger than this! The Friends of the San Francisco Public Library's 33rd Annual Big Book Sale at Fort Mason, September 11th through the 14th. This is the largest book sale on the West Coast, so don't miss out on some great book bargains. For more information about the Friends Big Book Sale or how to become a member of the Friends of the San Francisco Public Library, phone 557-4257.
Thanks for watching At the Public Library here on City Watch Cable Channel 54. You can catch At the Public Library Monday mornings from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. and from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Friday evenings from 8 to 9 p.m. and Saturdays from 12 noon to 1 p.m. See you next time.